Welcome to Informative Studio. In this video I am going to talk about real-life money heist happened in history. Number 5. Andre Stander. Andre Stander was a detective prodigy. He finished at the top of his class and became a captain by age 31. As the head of the Criminal Investigation Department in Kempton Park, South Africa, he knew a lot about robberies. That proved extremely useful when he decided to become a bank robber in 1977. Stander was a master of disguise. He would rob a bank on his lunch break, then return in the afternoon to investigate the crime without being recognized by any of the witnesses. He robbed 30 banks in 3 years. In 1980, Stander went to prison, and that's where his bank robbing career really took off. He met 2 other bank robbers there, and the 3 men plotted an escape. Stander and his accomplices overpowered the guards during a trip to a physiotherapist and fled. They became the Stander Gang, and they robbed banks like it was an Olympic event. In 2 months, the men robbed 20 banks, including 4 in a single day, making 5 times the money Stander had made in his original 3 years. The gang would stroll into a bank confidently and calmly and pick out the most vulnerable cashier, LMOST, always a woman. They would approach her and order her to fill a bag with cash, and then they walk out before anyone else in the bank was aware robbery had even taken place. The gang lived a life of luxury. They had multiple houses with servants and sports cars, and they dined out every day. Number 4. The Chelambra Bank Robbery. The 4-man gang that robbed the North Malabar Gramin Bank in Chelambra, India, was able to spend plenty of time preparing for their heist. In 2007, they noticed a restaurant was available for lease, and it was located directly beneath the bank. The gang paid to rent the space and stuck up a sign saying it was under renovation and would reopen on January 8, 2008. They also bought furniture for their renovation to avoid suspicion. Sadly for hungry locals, the restaurant never opened. Instead, the robbers cut through the floor of the bank on December 30th and made off with 80 million rupees, around $1.3 million. They cut into the bank's strong room in the early hours of Sunday morning, so the robbery was and discovered for over a day. The gang planted evidence in the restaurant that made them appear to be supporters of Naxalism, a communist guerrilla movement active in India. The thieves left numerous other false clues. A kilogram (2.2 pounds) of stolen gold was abandoned in a hotel room in Hyderabad, over 700 kilometers (450 miles) away. They also made phone calls from cities all over the country to overload investigators. Number 3. The Argentinian Underground. On January 13, 2006, 2 men walked into Banco Rio in the Argentinian town of Acasuso. They took over 20 hostages. 200 police officers completely surrounded the building, but the robbers didn't seem to mind. They exchanged 4 hostages for pizza and pop, which they shared with the other hostages, and sang happy birthday to one of the women they captured. In total, they were there for 7 hours, before police stormed the building and found the men had vanished along with $8 million worth of valuables. Police found an iron lid covering a hole in the basement, bolted from underneath. When they removed it, they were led into a tunnel, which took the thieves into the sewers and out to the local river. The thieves had left a note saying they told them money, not love, though many of the 140 safe deposit boxes they taken contain items of great sentimental value. Number 2. The 300 million yen grab. On December 10, 1968, 4 bank employees were in a car transporting 294.3 million yen to a Toshiba factory. At the time, that was worth $817,520, the equivalent of over $5 million today. As the staff were driving by Fushu Prison in Tokyo, they were approached by a policeman on a motorcycle. The man told the employees their manager house had been bombed, and that there might be a bomb under the car. The staff got out, and the police officer dropped to the ground to check underneath the vehicle. Suddenly, smoke and flames erupted from the car, and the police officer told the group to run before the engine exploded. The bank workers fled as quickly as they could, before turning to see the policeman driving away. A freshly used flare lay on the ground. The robber left 120 pieces of evidence behind, including the motorcycle. However, none of it was useful, and police eventually realized the random objects had been scattered on purpose to throw investigators off course. The investigation itself was huge. 70,000 officers looked into 110,000 suspects. Number 1. The Stopwatch Gang. The all-Canadian three-man bank robbing team known as the Stopwatch Gang were responsible for over 100 heists, with proceeds of over $15 million during the 1970s and zeros. They earned their nickname because they used stopwatches to ensure they were never in a bank for more than 2 minutes. They could perform a robbery in as little 90 seconds. They were famous for never needing to fire a shot. One of their first robberies, stealing $750,000 worth of gold bars from Ottawa Airport, was carried out by gang member Stephen Reed disguising himself as a baggage handler and simply walking out with the loot. They were caught for the crime, but when they left prison, they moved to the US and created new identities for themselves in Arizona. They told their neighbors they worked in entertainment and took regular business trips to California. In total, they robbed over 140 banks. These were real-life money heists. Hopefully you liked this video. Please like and subscribe Informative Studio for more videos.